Welcome. My name is Will Cillier. I am the Associate Director for International Programs and Scholarships at the International Education Office, or IEO, which is also the Study Abroad Office at UCLA. The IEO is the one-stop shop for undergraduate study abroad opportunities. So if you're interested in studying abroad, you can connect with our study abroad advisors, with program coordinators, and you can also connect with peers who have studied abroad themselves. Today, I will be leading this Study Abroad Scholarships webinar as part of our Global Learning Opportunities Week, or GLOW. And this recording will be posted on our website on ieo.ucla.edu/glow. These are the topics we'll be covering today. We'll talk about types of scholarships, who are the providers of study abroad scholarships. We will look into the scholarship application process, and we'll also take a look at the UCLA scholarship portal. Then we'll talk about how to write a winning essay, and at the end, I will give you some helpful tips to help in your application. So let's start with the types of scholarships. There are quite a few types of scholarships out there. There is a scholarship for almost anything you can imagine. Today, we'll focus on the most common types. The first one is merit-based. This encompasses your academic standing, GPA, artistic, athletic, leadership skills, your abilities, extracurricular activities, community service. In summary, these are your accomplishments. The next one, as the name says, the need-based scholarship, is based on financial need. This is for students from low-income families. Some of these scholarships will require that you be receiving financial aid in order to qualify. The next one is student-specific. This focus on who you are. It can be based on gender, race, religion, medical history, or many other student-specific factors. Underrepresented or minority scholarships are the most common award in this category. Some examples are first-generation students, transfer students, single mom, African American, Asian, Latino, and many other groups. The next one is destination specific. These are scholarships to motivate students to study in a particular country. They can be awarded by countries abroad or by donors who maybe have studied or lived in that country. Some can get quite specific, like the Moody Glaser Scholarship that we have here at UCLA. It requires not just that students be studying in Israel, but also that they be studying at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. The next one, program specific. It requires participation in a specific study abroad program. It's only applicable to that program. One category that we can include here is the study of foreign languages. There are some scholarships, especially from the federal government, that if you're interested in one of their critical languages, what they consider critical for the US national security, you will be eligible to apply for scholarships for those specific language programs. And the last one we're going to cover today is field specific. And these are awarded to students based on their particular major of or field of study. For example, at UCLA, we have the Comar Shideler Scholarship, and it gives priority to students from comparative literature and Scandinavian languages majors or minors. As you can see, there is a scholarship for everyone. One thing to keep in mind is that students who have more flexibility for their destination may be able to find scholarships that are not so competitive, or find programs that are more affordable. Keep in mind that some scholarships can be quite competitive, while others can go underutilized. That's why it is important for you to do your research. So next, we'll take a look at the providers of study abroad scholarships. I divided the providers in 4 categories, and we will look into each one of them. The first one, these are entities, organizations, or institutions that provide, facilitate, and administer study abroad programs. We will have like universities as part of this category. And when we start breaking this down, we will talk about UCLA and the scholarships that UCLA offers. The next category are private foundations and organizations. These are non-governmental, nonprofit organizations, or charitable trusts. The federal government offers some excellent study abroad scholarships. And tomorrow, we will have 2 webinars that will focus on some of those scholarships. And fourth, we finally have the corporations or businesses, and they offer scholarships for education as well. So let's start breaking down these categories. The first institution we'll discuss is, of course, UCLA. At UCLA, there are 3 main types of scholarships. They are divided by departments, programs, and campus. Departments are the scholarships that are provided by different departments on campus that they may want to promote their study abroad participation in their own programs. For example, the travel study program is our faculty-led, and so some departments on campus may promote that with additional scholarships. Or they can promote also study abroad to regions that correspond to their center or department. Programs at UCLA, we have 3 UCLA programs, and each program offers their own scholarships. So we have travel study, global internships, and global cities. Well, you may ask, what about UCAP? Yes, it is one of our programs, but it's a little bit different. So I will cover it in the next slide. And then we have the campus scholarships. There are donors that extend the scholarship campus-wide, or at least open to a division. For example, the Division of Humanities. These are more general scholarships that are not focused on program necessarily. The best place to find out more about these opportunities is in the IEO website. But before we go there, let's talk about UCAP. Many students get confused about UCAP and other study abroad programs offered by UCLA. So UCAP stands for University of California Education Abroad. It is the UC system-wide program. The UCAP office is located in Santa Barbara, and they manage their own scholarships. So to find out about UCLA scholarships, you go to the IEO website, but scholarships provided by UCAP are listed on the UCAP website and are managed by UCAP. So let's take a look at IEO scholarships. Let me just get my screen here, just one second. Okay, so this is the IEO scholarship page. To get to this page, you go to ieo.ucla.edu, you go under finances, and then you select scholarships. As you can see, we have a rotating banner, and our goal is to have the main scholarships posted here when their applications open. Right now, we have the Boren application open, and we have UCLA study abroad application, scholarships application open as well. But these are for the winter and spring cycle. The summer, fall cycle, we will be posting them in January. The next thing I want to bring your attention to is that depending on the program that you have selected to participate, we have divided the scholarships based on those programs. So let's suppose you are going to be participating in a travel study program this next summer. Here you have all the scholarships that are applicable to travel study. Of course, some of these are departments and will be specific for programs from that department. Here we have the program scholarship, UCLA Travel Study Scholarship, which every single applicant of travel study can apply. We also have some campus scholarships that are also open to a wider population. The same thing with global internships, with global cities, and with UCAP. Here, these UCAP scholarships, this is the program-specific scholarships, and it will take you to the UCAP page. The other scholarships listed here are offered by UCLA, and it's only for UCLA students. We also have outside scholarships. So this is a great resource for you to take a look at, and you can search by region. We have national scholarships here. And as I mentioned, the big ones, we are going to be highlighting them in our banners. So this page is a great resource for you. And you can also come to the scholarship directories and database and find many different options of study abroad scholarships. Okay, so let me go back to my presentation. Just 1 second as I get my screen back here. Okay, and so going back to UCEAP, remember when you apply to scholarships that are offered by UCLA, you are only, we are only having applications from UCLA. But UCAP scholarships are open to all UC students. So you're going to be applying and competing with students from UC Santa Barbara, UC Riverside, UC Berkeley. It's not just UCLA. Okay, and these are some of the examples of scholarships that UCAP offers. They have global scholarships, memorial scholarships, guardian scholarships, and many others. But besides UCLA and UCAP, there are also outside providers that offer study abroad programs. And of course, they offer scholarships as well. We can mention CIEE, CEA Study Abroad, Go Overseas, AIFS Study Abroad. These are excellent study abroad programs providers, and they also offer some great scholarships. But for you to apply for their scholarships, you have to be participating in one of their programs. One thing to keep in mind is that when you participate in a program that is offered by UCLA and UCAP, your credit transfer is guaranteed, and many of the times is automatic. If you participate in one of the programs offered by any of these outside providers, the credit transfer cannot be guaranteed. So you will need to work with your advisor and do petition to have your credit transferred to UCLA. Okay, our next category is private foundations and organizations. With this list, I wanted to give you an idea of how diverse this category can be. So when you go looking for scholarships online, you can have an idea of what to look for. So I'm going to mention just a few of them, and just to give you an idea of what to look for. So let's start with Fund for Education Abroad. This is a nonprofit organization. It gives preference to underrepresented groups in study abroad. And one nice thing about this scholarship provider is that you can submit one application, but be considered for several opportunities. They have quite a few scholarships available. The next one, the Ashley Foundation. Ashley Conroy was very passionate about travel. After she passed away, her family and friends created this foundation to give students the opportunity to study abroad. So they give 3 awards of $4,000 each per year. The next one is Scott's Cheap Flights. This is a team of travel experts that help people find the best deal for flights. And they offer one scholarship of $1,000 award. Tortuga, this is a company that sells travel backpacks. They also offer a $1,000 scholarship plus a travel backpack. The next one is Freeman Awards for Study in Asia. It's for US undergraduates with financial need studying abroad in East or Southeast Asia. DAAD, Germany, it's a foundation and it's aimed primarily to graduates or doctoral students, but they also have opportunities for undergraduates, especially the ones doing internship in Germany. And the last one we are going to mention is Bridging Foundation, which is a undergraduate study in Japan scholarship, and it offers up to $4,500 for the academic year. And they give preference for students going for a semester or a full academic year in Japan. And we can mention many others like clubs, for example, Rotary Club. You can go online and find many other providers in this category, and they can be quite unique, like Scott's Cheap Flight or Tortuga, but at least now you have an idea of what to look for when you go online. This next category is government-sponsored scholarships. And I would advise you to not miss the presentation on the Boren and Gilman. So they will also be recorded and will be posted to the GLOW page on the IO website. But the Boren Awards and the Gilman scholarship are excellent scholarships offered by the US government. So I'm just going to do a brief overview on these scholarships. The Gilman Scholarship, it's for US citizens receiving federal Pell Grant. You do have a follow-on service project, which the goal is to increase awareness of study abroad and the Gilman Scholarship among peers at your home university or campus community. The awards are up to $5,000. You can use it to study or intern abroad. And if you are interested in learning, studying one of the languages, what they call the critical need language, you can have the CNLA award, Critical Need Language Award. The supplement is up to $3,000. So you submit the same Gilman application, but you select that you are studying one of those critical languages, and you can receive up to $8,000. And you do need to submit an additional essay for this scholarship. Next is Gilman-McCain, and it is the same requirement for the Gilman, but this one is for a dependent child of active duty military members. So if one of your parents is a military member, you are eligible to apply. And the award is not up to $5,000. The award is $5,000. So every applicant award will be $5,000 if you are selected. Boren Awards. This is for study of critical languages for national security. The application is a little more complex than the Gilman, but it's an amazing scholarship. And the award is up to $25,000. So if you're interested in public service, working for the federal government, this is a great opportunity. And the last one we're going to cover today is CLS, which is Critical Language Scholarship. This is also a US Department of State program. It's a summer intensive overseas language and cultural immersion program. Students spend 8 to 10 weeks abroad studying one of the 15 critical languages. So these are not any language. You have to select from one of the 15 that the US government considers as critical languages. For example, Arabic, Chinese, Hindi, Indonesian, Japanese, Russian, Swahili, and a few others. The application for summer 2022 is already open. So if you're interested, you must start your application soon before the deadline. And the nice thing about this scholarship is that CLS covers the great majority cost of the program. So if you're participating in a program and you want to have a program that the scholarship covers most of its cost, this is a scholarship for you. Okay, and our last category are businesses and corporations. And many businesses offer scholarships for education. They may not necessarily advertise study abroad scholarships, but remember, study abroad is part of your education. And many of those scholarships will also apply to study abroad. For example, University Credit Union had earlier this year a scholarship available to all undergraduate students for up to $7,000. And the scholarship you could use for any portion of your education, including study abroad. Next, let's take a look at the application process. Before you start applying, do your research. You can create a list of your personal, unique attributes and include them in your research. Make sure you're familiar with what is available out there. You can start with the IO website and then check other online resources. Once you have done your research and are familiar with possible scholarships you may be eligible for, get organized. You can make a list of all the scholarships you want to apply for. Maybe you can create a spreadsheet. So on the spreadsheet, you can write down the name of the scholarship, the requirements, amount of each award, their deadlines, and their required documents. Then you can rank them by the ones that you're most eligible for to the ones that it might be a little bit of a stretch, but it may be still worth trying. Next, gather all the required documents, transcripts, essays, and letters of recommendation make up the essential components of most scholarship applications. But some scholarships may have unique requirements. So double check if anything else is required. Take into consideration that it can take some time to get your transcripts or recommendation letters. So do not procrastinate. Read carefully what kind of transcript is required. Sometimes, I think most of the scholarships accept an official transcript, but sometimes they may require an official one. Finally, write your essays. Essays are required for basically every study abroad scholarship. Consider this your chance to explain to scholarship providers why you truly deserve their financial support. Since essays are so important, let's take a look on how to write a winning essay. You may write the most wonderful essay, but if it does not address the prompt fully, that will be just a nice essay. If you're applying for more than one scholarship, it's very tempting to reuse or recycle the same essay for all applications, but it can get tricky. Look at this way. Applying for a scholarship is like applying for a job. You need to submit a unique application and show that you meet all the requirements for the position. And the same thing with scholarships. Take each scholarship application and study the essay prompt very carefully. Make sure your essay addresses all the points of the prompt. There are some common topics that are usually asked. So, what impacted your decision to study abroad? Or what difficulties have you overcome? How will studying abroad benefit you? Talk about yourself. What makes you unique? Your identities. Do you participate in any clubs? Are you involved in community service? What are your leadership skills? So these are topics that usually are asked in scholarship applications. Explain your financial need. Be transparent. Remember, the person reading the essay does not know you. The funding is for studying and not for traveling. It is fine that you want to go abroad and maybe travel in Italy or Spain, but the person reading the essay wants to know how that traveling, that studying is going to impact your academics or your future career. So don't concentrate on the travel part, concentrate on studying and learning and how you're going to apply that to your life. And when writing the essay, don't just tell, but show a little more about you. Give examples, tell short stories. This can make the reading so much more exciting. And keep in mind that scholarship reviewers read lots of applications, so make sure yours stand out. Now that you learned how to write a great essay, let's look at some tips. Tip number 1, get your essay reviewed. You can start getting help after writing your first draft. Start early, get feedback. It is okay to send multiple drafts. The more feedback you get, the more you can improve your writing, avoid grammatical or misspelling errors, and make sure your essay is really, answering all the questions that the prompt asked. So also take advantage of campus writing labs and tutors. They are there to help you. Get input from your friends, your classmates. You may have peers that are really strong writers. Ask them to help you. Tip number 2. I cannot stress enough how important this is. You did all the hard work, getting your application, documents, everything ready. Now you just need to submit it. However, this is a critical step. Do not wait until the last minute. There can be technical glitches. Sites tend to crash from high traffic right at the deadline. Also keep in mind the time zone. Maybe the scholarship is being offered from a provider in the East Coast. So make sure you check the time zone. But the best thing is not to wait for the last minute. Don't do things in a hurry. Double check the application for any missing document. Make sure you're actually completing the correct application and submitting the correct documents. I was once reading an application essay for a study in Israel scholarship, and the applicant wanted to go to the UK. So maybe the applicant left everything for last minute and uploaded the wrong essay, but for that kind of mistake may cost you a lot of financial support. So pay attention. Again, do not wait until last minute. Tip number 3, be realistic about the scholarship award amount. Awards vary by scholarship, by program. The duration of your program can play a role in your scholarships and also how much you're eligible for. Averages are usually between 1,000 and 5,000, but many other scholarships can be less than 1,000. So you may need to apply to multiple scholarships to be able to finance your study abroad program. You can apply for scholarships before you're accepted into the study abroad program, but some scholarship organizations may notify students after the program withdrawal deadline. So you should keep in mind, can you afford your program if you don't get the scholarship? Tip number 4, talk to your financial aid advisor. At the Study Abroad office, we advise students on many aspects of the study abroad experience, but we don't necessarily know all the details about your financial aid, especially if you're participating in a non-UC study abroad program. Some of your aid may not apply. Also, scholarships are great, but they may impact your financial aid amounts. So don't forget to talk to your financial aid advisor. Tip number 5, avoid scams. As you go browsing to find out available scholarships opportunities out there, remember, nobody can guarantee that you will be awarded the scholarship. If someone contacts you with a scholarship offer, be careful. Scholarships are awarded after an application process. Applying for scholarships does not cost any money. Never apply for any scholarship where you need to pay a fee. Scholarship applications will require some information, of course, but be aware if you see requests for private information, like your social security number. That's a sign to walk away. And scholarships with no requirements should raise a red flag. Deals that seem too good to be true could probably be a scam. And last but not least, applying for scholarships can be hard work, but there are more benefits besides financial support. Your resume can showcase this additional achievement. It can make you stand out. Employers may give additional recognition to an applicant when they see a scholarship on their resume. In other words, it can make you a more attractive job candidate. Also, some scholarships offer ongoing support, or we can say alumni programs after your study abroad time. For example, a scholarship may provide a mentorship program that aims to academic success. Others connect its scholarship winners with nonprofit organizations for volunteering opportunities, internships, or even jobs. Alumni of the Gilman or Boren Awards are eligible for a special hiring status with the federal government. So besides the financial benefit, you can also gain real-world experience. Winning a scholarship can give you great networking opportunities. You may be able to network with other students that have also received the same scholarship. Networking can also open doors for other academic and research opportunities. So keep in mind these benefits while looking for scholarships. So this is the end of my presentation, but before we end, I would like to go to the UCLA scholarship portal and take a look at what kind of applications they accept and how you can manage the portal. So just a second while I get my screen here. Okay, so this is the UCLA scholarship portal. And as you can see, there is a huge list of available scholarships for UCLA students. And this is just page 1. They have 12 pages of scholarships. Even if you're not applying for a study abroad scholarship, I would advise you to go to the website to ucla.academicworks.com. And that's where you can find your scholarships that are offered by UCLA. So for you to access this site, you must sign in right here on the top. And you will sign in with your UCLA login. So let me log in. And so I can show you what it looks like once we go in. Okay. I'm getting there. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so here we are. This is the general application page, and you complete this general application. And the beauty of this portal is that once you have your general application completed, if you go to the opportunities tab, the system will automatically recommend some scholarships. So I don't have a general application there. So the system just, is recommending some scholarships that don't require any information that was on the general application. But you don't need to apply just for these scholarships that the system is recommending. You can apply to any other scholarship you may think that you're eligible for. And you have the recommended, and you also have the list of all the scholarships that are available here in the system. And also there will be actions. So if you completed your general application and you started one of these other applications that require additional information, you will have some information here that you need to complete that application or if it's already completed. Another very nice thing about this portal is that many of these scholarships are auto-match. And that means once you submit your general application, you don't need to worry about meeting the requirements because the system will automatically match your answers on the general application with the requirements of the scholarship. So you may be receiving scholarships that you didn't even know about, that you didn't know you were eligible for. And, so this is not just for study abroad scholarships. One thing to keep in mind, the cycle of this system is a little bit different than the academic year. Applications will open around early April for the cycle, and they will close mid-March. At that time, the system will archive all the previous information for the entire cycle. So your general application will also be archived. So if you want to be considered for other scholarships during the new cycle, you must provide a new application. It's good to keep your essays and whatever is a little more lengthy to answer saved. So every year when you submit your application, you already have the essay ready. And for this one, you can use the same one every year, basically. So you can just go and complete your general application. And once you are done with the general application, when it comes time for you to submit your specific study abroad scholarship application, then you can just go and complete the additional questions that are required for each scholarship. So let me go back to the presentation. Just a second here while I get my screen back. Okay, so we looked at the UCLA scholarship portal, and I hope that was helpful. If you have questions, you can also contact us in our office. You can go to our website and sign up for a one-on-one advising, or you can also get the information for the drop-in advising. And I hope this presentation was helpful to you. As I said, if you have questions, please contact us. And I thank you for attending.